welcome back to another episode of Pull on the Call podcast. My name is Mændy Mac.
And I am Cris Rivers.
And today we are alone.
Yes, alone in our offices.
Yes, because we are talking to you today about podcasts for pole dancers.
Podcasts for pole dancers, by pole dancers, and all sorts of stuff. This is fun.
Right, because there's not just us.
No, not at all. And man, they pulled up an incredible list of podcasts. And apparently, yeah, there's a lot of audio and apparently video podcasts, which we'll go into later.
Yeah. Right, and this is probably not the full list, but again, we are researchers,
Yes.
so that's what we do. So there's a lot.
Yes. If we miss your podcast, let us know so we can do an updated version.
Yeah, and so that we can also follow you and listen to your podcast as well.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Oh, okay. I guess I'm going. Our first one, we have Uncovered for Pole Dancers.
Yes. I guess that's at addictivepolefitness.com/uncovered podcast.
Yes, so check them out. They cover a wide variety of topics, and you're pretty much getting into the nitty-gritty about pole dancing. I'm guessing uncovered is a good play on words.
Right.
And go, yeah, next.
Next is an Pull on the Call interviewee, Rosie Boa, who also hosts her own podcast. It is the evidence-based pole dance podcast, and it is amazing. I was just laughing with another pole dancer the other day because I shared one of Rosie's posts, and they were like, wow, imagine if all the pole dance facts had the research posted right underneath it. And I was like, right? And that's exactly what this pole dance podcast does. So definitely check out the evidence-based pole dance podcast with Rosie Boa, Slink Through Strength on Instagram. Yay, shout out.
Yay, and I'm sure other platforms too. I know there's so many to keep track of.
Right.
Then we have Yes, a stripper podcast.
Yes.
Yes. This is actually a pretty good one, and they have a very good social media following and a lot of valuable information that I wish I knew as a stripper.
Yeah, right. They have really good interviews. They post really good history facts all the time. And they got me with the apparel.
Too funny.
The next one is the Black Girl Fit Files with Delija Amelia. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. The founder of Black Girls Pole. Yay! An amazing podcast to listen to.
I know. And Black Girls Pole, they have incredible content on social media. Definitely check them out. All these links will be in the comments and the sections and the section notes. There's a lot of podcasts. I have not listened to all of these.
Right, I was gonna say I have also not listened to all of them, but they're all on my list.
Yes. Another time of the day. And then we have Why We Poe, which hopefully we'll score an interview with. She interviewed us, and that was awesome.
Yes, I was like, were we interviewed for their podcast?
Yes. Wait. Yeah, pretty sure. Yes.
Yeah. You appeared on Why We Poll. But yeah, you're right. We have yet to interview them back. So hopefully we can catch up with them soon.
I know that would be fucking awesome. Ooh, sorry. Stop cussing.
Oh, it's me?
Yes.
The next one is the Pole Performance Podcast with Dr. Emily, and again, I probably am saying this wrong, Rausch, Dr. Emily Rausch, who I'll follow on Instagram for sure, but I didn't know that she had a podcast, so I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, it has a
Not
lot of
fuck up your
valuable,
body
it
while pole dancing.
has a lot of valuable information, a lot of more input from what she posts on social media, like more in-depth information, which is pretty cool.
Nice. I might
Yeah.
have to check it out.
Next, we have When We're Not Hustling podcast. Oh, when are we not hustling? Probably when we're sleeping. And even then, we're hoping our money's working for us. So we're still hustling.
Right. I think that is a podcast with for sex workers, but also very interesting stories. Um, followed by, as in the similar vein, the next one is Werk Sis, and it's spelled WERK, work. Werk Sis, the Pole Work Podcast.
I love it. Oh my God. I have to check all of these out.
Right. Yeah, we'll have all of the links right underneath the name of the podcast.
Yes, that sounds so fun. Work sis. That sounds so fun and fascinating. Oh my goodness, the Pole Project. This is one I have heard, and they have some pretty good episodes.
And
Are
then
they still making episodes? I can't remember.
I have no idea. Right, some of them were still going and some of them seemed like they're on a break, or it had been a while since they had updated.
Yes.
But
Still,
podcasts live forever.
yes, it's still a lot of valuable information. They
Yeah.
have in their immortality.
The next one is the Pole Pod podcast.
Yes. I,
Another one that I'm not familiar with, but definitely check it out.
I think I have not seen anything new from them, but I may be wrong. Um, yeah, check it out. A lot of valuable information, different topics, and I think even a few interviews with like OGs.
Hey.
Yes. I'm a pole dancer podcast. I'm not familiar with this one, I'm not
I
gonna
don't
lie.
know there.
So
But
check it out.
it's on the list. We have a
So check
Spotify.
it out.
Yeah, there's a Spotify link for that one. So,
Facts. There's a lot of y'all, so forgive us if we have not heard of you. It is nothing personal. Y'all know how much time this podcasting takes, and that's with living. So we will listen to you. Forgive us.
right. Right. And I think to find a lot of them, I also just did a search on Spotify for a poll podcast, and a lot of them came up. So,
Facts. I did like Instagram search, like Google, and then the Spotify, and it was a lot of the same ones that you found in, but with a couple extra.
yeah.
But you definitely did a better list than me. You actually put it together.
With our powers combined.
Oh, you're so organized with that. Next, we have The Weekly D with Dan Rosen, which I've definitely heard of this podcast.
I don't think
Yeah,
I've listened to it, but I've heard of it.
yeah, I listened to a couple episodes. It's pretty cool. I mean, talks into some deep dive. I don't know if he's still making them, but I would assume he is.
Excellent. Which brings us to the
Yes.
next one. It is called Pole Dancers Talk About Stuff Podcast.
That's
And the URL is poledancerstalk.com. Yeah.
I want to check that one out. Pole dancers talk about stuff. That sounds so
About
fun.
stuff.
What are we talking about? Maybe real life things that would be fun.
What kind of stuff?
What kind of careers pole dancers have outside? A lot of different ones.
Or like, what is your favorite type of vegetable?
Funny. Uh, I love that. OMG. The Pogies podcast. This one, yeah, I believe this is an older one. They have interviews with like Felix Kane and some pretty cool stuff. So definitely check that out.
Yes. This is the
Are they
next.
still making podcast episodes? I'm not even sure.
I have no idea. But they did have a URL for the podcast. So,
Yes.
right, because
Next,
some didn't have like a full-blown website.
correct.
Mm.
I'm surprised the websites you did find.
Right?
And then some of these are on Spotify and some of them are on Apple.
Yeah.
We
Next one is Spill the BBT.
Yeah, so like Boa Tea. This one is by Adam Lynn, and oh, I can't remember her name, but it's two pole dancers talking shit.
Excellent.
Drinking boba tea, which is awesome. It's cute. Definitely check it
That
out.
was a Spotify link as well.
Yes, and they have an Instagram. Well, he's always posting on his Instagram. I think they have a separate one as well, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Next, we have Crux with Jessica John of Circus Mobility, another podcast interviewee.
Right. I didn't even know that she had one, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out.
Yes, has some, if I'm not mistaken, some conditioning tips and business tips as well.
Right. I always loved her tips anyway, so
Yes.
definitely check it out. And check out the interview.
Yes, a lot of valuable information.
Yeah. The next one is the Parlor podcast, which I know nothing about.
Nor do I, but this was on a lot of lists.
It's on the list. And as a Apple podcast list. So if
Yes.
you are an Apple Podcast listener, you can look that one up right away, or you can wait for this link.
It's hard because some of the websites say when their last episodes were, but I don't know if you can like verify that or if that's true.
Right? Yeah.
We then have the Poe Obsession podcast.
Yes, right. Another one that I don't know too much about.
Yes, but I'm obsessed with Poe, so why not?
I love the name. Can feel
Yes,
that it's about something that I would enjoy.
yes.
The next one is Seggs Talk Radio Podcast. And that one's another sex worker, positive, focused, informational podcast. Really, really good to follow. And that one has a direct website link. Um, really good Instagram posts too.
Facts. And then we have, I'm gonna fuck this up, the Heaxcast Podcast.
I think it's the Hocast.
Oh shit. The Heaxcast Podcast. I feel like I've heard this before. Who created?
Right.
We know
Right.
who.
I've definitely heard this before, but I haven't heard the Hocast. Like I haven't heard any of the episodes.
I feel like we definitely interviewed someone who dropped this.
Who
Oh,
mentioned it? You're right. Somebody did mention it.
oh, forgive us. OMG, Heaxcast.
Right. But anyway, we'll look them up.
I am. Oh, okay. Susan Bartley and Whole Apparel.
Ho apparel. I've definitely heard ho apparel.
Yes.
Ho apparel. Love it. Oh, the next one. Polarizing Topics. It's
We.
also available on Spotify. I'm not one that I'm too familiar with, but I love the pun title.
Yes. I'd imagine it's talking about tough topics in the pole dancing world.
Yes.
I definitely want to check that out because we are always trying to touch on more topics if we can,
Right? Yeah.
especially the polarizing ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes, well, I guess it depends on where you are too. Every studio is different, every region's different.
Oh, so very true. So very true. OMG, the next one. And I don't know, I went on Spotify, but I didn't see any audio episodes. I do know they are video podcasts is Between the Poles.
Yeah, you can check them out on YouTube, and we'll have the YouTube link there.
Yeah. Oh, I think I sent the Spotify link.
Oh, okay, then we'll have both.
Yes. I didn't see episodes, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it was just my phone not loading.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't there the strippers podcast too?
I don't know. Is it just called the Strippers Podcast?
We're about to find out. Or Scrippers podcast. Script. Maybe I was thinking of yes.
Yes.
Too funny.
Why am I not wearing their shirt? Oh, because I'm repping Pole on the Wall today.
You're too funny. I feel
Because I have 5 of their shirts.
like, I feel like there's another stripping one or two, and forgive
There
me
was
if
a lot,
yeah.
yeah. Um, if
Again, reach out to us so we can make an updated video and add and audio and add you to it.
Yeah, and like we'll add them to the list. This is a pretty good list. The ones that I found online were just those like auto-generated
Yeah.
lists or like the top 10 podcasts, and they're kind of like not good. But yeah, so hopefully this will be a good list. We're not even done.
Facts.
There's one more.
Polarina's podcast.
Yes.
And their podcast is through live Instagram.
Yeah,
And me,
video podcast.
yes, which I learned is a thing. I did not know. I always thought video recording and sharing it was vlogging, VL.
Mm.
OG, but apparently video podcast is a thing, and I found that fascinating.
Right? I learned that today.
Yeah, right. Always learning something.
But that is the end of our list. They were in no particular order,
Nope.
random order. Um,
Yeah.
Guide them to you in this random order.
Yes. I feel like we missed some. I know the Post Circus, it's not really a podcast, but she does also live stream interviews on Instagram. Um, I guess that's a video podcast thing now. God, I feel like I've seen so many out there now.
Right? And do you think we should do some video podcasting?
We already do. We share it to YouTube.
Right, that's true. But I guess the Instagram kind.
Uh, so that would require us to go live.
I don't have time for that.
I'm just figuring out how we would do it during like an interview.
Right? Right. And it would have to be at a time when people were available. Do you guys want us to do that?
Too funny. I wonder if there's a Instagram Live on desktop doesn't allow like share screen so they can see them
But I think you can add people to like as like a host.
on Instagram.
I think so. I've seen people do it.
I don't, we'd have to let them know. Oh, this is another discussion. Too funny.
Well, that's it, everyone.
Yeah, if we missed your podcast, forgive us. Please let us know so we can make an updated video and share it. This was a good list, like way more than I thought. Might
Yeah.
be.
Right. And if this inspires you to want to start your own podcast, we have a podcast out about that.
Yeah, check it out. How to start your own podcast.
Yeah. We should probably add ourselves to this list too, um because we're not on the list.
Facts.
So don't forget about Poll in the Call podcast. Also, check out all of the other beautiful podcasts
Yes.
and
And let us know if we missed any, please.
and start your own.
Yes. Or your own video one, which is much harder and scarier, but you can do it.
Right? And let us know how you did it.
Yes.
I guess on that note, thank you everyone for listening to or watching this episode of Pole in the Call podcast. My name is Mændy Mac.
Yes. And I am Cris Rivers. Ooh, my Dorothy shoes. Yay.
I hit myself in the head with my glittery shoe.